biggest security risks don't come from technology alone, they come from people. And that's why today I want to focus on a critical, often overlooked piece of the cybersecurity puzzle: culture. Because you can have the best firewalls, the best encryption, and the best security policies, but if your people don't engage with security, you will still remain vulnerable. I built and delivered multiple cybersecurity change programs internationally, and I've seen what works and what doesn't. So in this session, I'm going to take you through how to embed security into the DNA of your organization. Not an afterthought, not an IT issue, but a business enabler that empowers employees, strengthens resilience, and ultimately protects the organization. So we're going to cover how to engage executives and the board in cybersecurity leadership, how to drive behavior change amongst employees, and how to measure and track security culture in a meaningful way. And at the end, you walk away with a clear, actionable strategy that you can implement immediately. So why cyber resilience is a culture? Most organizations still treat cybersecurity as an IT problem. They focus on compliance checklists and technical solutions, but they neglect the biggest risk factor: human behavior. In fact, a report from Verizon in 2023 data breach found that 74% of breaches involved some element of human error. Things like misplaced trust, social engineering, privilege misuse, and simple mistakes. That means if you're not addressing culture, you're leaving a massive gap in your defenses. A truly cyber-resilient workforce does three things. 1. Makes fewer cybersecurity mistakes because they are trained and engaged and aware. Secondly, they take ownership because they see cybersecurity as part of their job and not just a responsibility of others, including the IT security department. And 3, they stay vigilant and act fast. They don't ignore threats and they report suspicious behavior immediately. This kind of workforce doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. And that's what we're going to delve deep into right now. Executive and board buy-in. Culture starts at the top. If the CEO and the board are not engaged in cybersecurity, neither will your employees. I've worked with organizations where executives have treated security as an afterthought, something they heard about once a quarter. Those organizations that struggle the most when an incident happened. On the other hand, the companies that took cybersecurity seriously at the leadership level created a culture where employees naturally prioritize security. So how do cybersecurity executives help senior executives at the board get engaged? Well, let's start with running a cyber crisis simulation. For me, the most important thing that you can do to kick off your culture change program. Once you've educated the board through a cyber simulation exercise, not only will they understand their roles and responsibilities when something bad happens, but they'll also get fully educated on the impact of a likely major cyber crisis. Show executives their digital footprint. When you demonstrate what hackers can find out about them online, cybersecurity becomes personal. And I've done this multiple times with multiple executives, and it's always been an enlightening experience that they've said they'd like to repeat on an annual basis. And the third thing is, make it a business issue, not an IT issue. Cybersecurity isn't about preventing breaches. It's about protecting the brand reputation, customer trust, and financial stability of the organization. Once leadership buys in, they set the cultural tone for the entire organization. And by the way, if you think you're going to be leaving it to yourself as a senior cybersecurity officer or a senior cybersecurity leader, trust me, no matter how charismatic you are, you're going to have to defer to the senior leaders of the organization to embed your message in their message. And that is crucial. So the third thing, driving employee behavior change. Now, let's talk about employees, because awareness alone is not enough. We need real behavior change. Some of the best ways to achieve this include things like phishing simulations, but instead of just telling employees about phishing, test them with real world scenarios and provide instant feedback. Crucially, when people spot phishing simulations, celebrate it and make it public. Of course, there'll always be those repeat offenders, but we don't want to get into punitive action constantly. We want to be celebrating the fact that people are reporting them. That is crucial. Human risk profiling, part of the broader narrative on human risk management. Not all employees carry the same level of risk. Finance teams, executives, IT administrators require specialist training, and especially those who have the authority to make decisions or have access to the crown jewels. And then secure by design training. DevOps, infrastructure teams should integrate security from the ground up as they are building and developing and putting into production those systems, products, and services. This isn't about catching people out. It's about building a workforce that actively defends the organization every day. If you're enjoying this content and you want to see this helping others, then please subscribe. It helps us reach more cybersecurity leaders just like you, and together we'll build a more secure world. So, number 4, the Cybersecurity Ambassador Program. What are the most effective ways to spread cybersecurity throughout the organization? A cybersecurity ambassador program starts with the CEO or whoever is the responsible leader for making sure your culture message sticks. When the most senior leader champions cybersecurity and does the recruitment drive, employees take it seriously. And when I did this with the CEO back in 2015, we had over 100 people applying to be a cybersecurity ambassador. I don't think I would have had the same impact if it was just me doing the recruiting. The next thing is create a network of ambassadors. Train and empower employees across different teams to advocate for security. And if you've got a global organization, you want to add into that this kind of diversity element, because culturally things can be very different in different countries. So have a network of ambassadors that have a good cultural mix. And the last thing is use incentives. People engage more when they see the personal benefits in cybersecurity leadership and certifications and career growth. So find ways of incentivizing those who take part and have some kind of relative responsibility relative to the actions and the things that you'll give them to do. You know, we had a number of people in one organization go right up to the top of the cybersecurity certification ladder, so much so that we were able to recruit them into the cybersecurity team. So when employees take ownership of cybersecurity, it stops being an IT issue and it starts becoming a company-wide mindset. And the final thing, the fifth thing, measuring cybersecurity culture metrics that matter. If you don't measure cybersecurity culture, you can improve it. So let's talk about some of the key metrics that we should be tracking. So you split this really in between culture metrics and behavior metrics. Some example culture metrics could be the percentage of residual risk treatment plans overdue greater than 3 months. So if you set a target of 0% overdue plans, you'll have some threshold to be able to determine that these plans are going over and therefore it's having an effect on your culture. You could have percentage of systems with overdue security assessments, that's greater than 90 days. And you want to be targeting 0% here. So again, you'll have a threshold to track. Percentage of crown jewels, internet-facing systems deployed without controls, that is security control. Again, the target could be 0%. You get the idea. So these are some of the culture metrics. Some of the behavior metrics should be things like data leakage incidents. So, your targets could be to reduce grade 1 and grade 2 incidents. So you're tracking those incidents. Classification errors, really important one. Are people overclassifying or underclassifying data? If they're overclassifying, they're probably costing you more money. So we want to be making sure that misclassified documents are reported back to employees so they understand how they should be doing it right the first time. Access management failures, these are usually delays by reviewing managers, especially when people join a new team. And there's many others like this, but phishing clicks as well, I've already mentioned, could be another one. These metrics allow you to track how well security is embedded in your organization, not just a compliance level, but a cultural level. So to end, cyber resilience is a leadership challenge. If you're serious about building a security-first culture, drop a comment below. Tell me what's working in your organization, what's not, and what challenges you are facing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let's build a community of cybersecurity leaders who drive real, measurable change. Stay secure, stay resilient, and I'd love to hear your comments. And please like this if you enjoyed the video. Darren, out.